Hi, I'm Brickroad, and this is Clash at Demonhead, one of the old good NES games, and the only one that I'm aware of that you begin by pressing attack rather than start. This game has a lot of idiosyncrasies that kind of set it apart from its contemporaries. A lot of weird little gameplay quirks that kind of keep it from becoming one of the great NES games. Like, a lot of people have very fond memories of this game, myself included, but there's a lot of weird little side issues to it. Most of these little side issues, which we'll cover during the course of gameplay, get totally forgiven because the game just oozes charm. It has one of those good old delicious late 80s localizations that just gave NES games a kind of alien weirdness all their own. This game, I do believe, is very heavily influenced by anime of the era, and if there's anybody in the world that is not at all well-versed on anime of the 1980s, it is me. I think the only anime I ever watched from the 1980s was probably Vampire Hunter D, and I don't think this game is in the same ballpark. Not quite. It's a little different. So, this game was suggested by my good friend Nick, because he has a thing for little marshmallow monsters with afro puffs. And I can only assume that he suggested it because he has my best interests at heart. I don't have Michael's best interests at heart, which is why I'm trying to shoot him in the face. He doesn't seem to like that. So, the plot of this game, let's just start there. This game takes place in 1990X, because of course it does. And the plot of this game is that you play as Bang, who is a member of like a private secret military group. What was it called in the instruction manual? Either Saber Tiger or Tiger Saber. One of those two. Either one is great. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll probably just go back and forth between those two names as we go through the game. I don't think they're ever mentioned in the game at all. But Bang is on vacation with his girlfriend Mary, both of which have very exciting 1980s anime hair that makes me very happy to look at. Can I get across this lake without getting blown up by missiles? That's the question. Anyway, Bang gets a message from his commander that Professor Plum, the inventor of the Doomsday Bomb, which, right there, Professor Plum is a supervillain, like, clearly. There's no practical humanitarian reason to invent a Doomsday Bomb unless you're planning to either blow up the world or because you want to hold the world hostage. And either way, Professor Plum needs to be in a high security facility somewhere. I want that heart. I'll grab that, please. But Professor Plum gets kidnapped by bad guys because apparently he's not already considered a bad guy by Tiger Saber, or Saber Tiger, or however it goes. So Bang has to go rescue him and stop the bomb from going off. So that's the plot of the game. And it just gets weirder from there because it involves... Like, we're about to go into Route 17 here, and we're about to meet the magical fairy creature that exists in this world for whatever reason. So this is a game that's about weird science and magic powers and extremely excellent hair. Actually, I probably wanted to go to the shop before I did much of anything. Maybe I'll get a chance here at the end of this little crawl. Oh, maybe I won't. I missed, and now I have to do the Walk of Shame. Yeah, no, I was supposed to do some shopping before that. I was supposed to do some shopping to get an item that'll help make those jumps a little easier on me. But as you can see, it's a non-linear game. It's all about exploring this giant world map of all these different routes. And every orange line on this map is a route, or a level, most of which have 2 exits, one on each side. And there's very few instances where you can't explore a route from both directions. This is the Super Shop. The Super Shop is run by Dale of the West Brooklyn Super Shops. What we need to buy here is some boots and a couple more of these shop calls. And can we buy some Ultra Food? We start with Ultra Food. Okay, so we're good. We're good on that note. The Super Shop does not come fully stocked with all the gear. There's stuff that we can't buy yet, like a jetpack and soda pop and other stuff. This item here is actually your password in the game. It doesn't have a save function. You got to write down a password because it's 1990X. But the boots that I bought give you a big speed boost and increase the height of your jumps. So let's talk about Bang's jump a little bit. You'll see Bang gets a lot of height on his jump, but very little horizontal distance. He's pretty slow walking. Unless you buy those hyper boots, you only have the one walking speed. Fortunately, they put like the hardest jumping challenge right up front. And there's no bottomless pits that kill you. If you fall into a pit, you just have to do the Walk of Shame, which just sends you down into a little cave, and you go back to the beginning of the level, and then everything's copacetic. So we're actually going to equip these to make these jumps a little more palatable. And you'll see you're actually much, much faster wearing the hyper boots. So in a speedrun of the game, which I think there's only one speedrunner of this game, the venerable Great Gildersneeze, who does an amazing run of this game. He basically just wears the boots and or the jetpack for the entire game. The problem I have with that, though, is that I'm bad at this game, and I can't handle the speed. Like, Bang's kind of leisurely pace and weird jumping, I'm used to it. I can deal. So one of this game's other little quirks is that there's lots and lots of plot flags. We just talked to the little fairy creature, Fascia, who wants us to go rescue the hermit, who has been assaulted by a demon named Rowdy. And the hermit is on Route 35, which is a place that you can't access just from the map. In fact, you can only access it through a secret passage that is only available to you after you talk to Fascia. So speaking with Fascia is a requirement. And this game has a lot of that. This game, there's a lot of NPCs you have to talk to make sure that plot flags are tripped, so that particular levels or sequences of events open up. The goal of the game is to collect 6 magic medallions, and then make it to the top of the mountain, and if you have all 6 medallions, you can have a showdown with the final boss, and if you don't have all 6 medallions, you have to go back and hunt for them. Fortunately, I know where they all are, and this letter has, I think, like $10,000 attached to it, just a big old pile of money, which is nice for my next shopping excursion. So I didn't choose the fastest route through the game. I chose a route that I thought would get through the game in a reasonable time frame, but also show off as many of the routes as possible. We're not going to be going through every single route. Some of the routes are optional, some of them are pointless. But we're going to be going through enough of them. Oh, don't get knocked in the water, because if we get knocked in the water here, we got to do the Swim of Shame all the way to the end. But yeah, I want to show off. It's not a long game, and I want to make sure we get our value out of this Let's Play. You know what I mean? So now that we've spoken to Fascia, this statue will open up for us, and we can go visit the hermit, who's on the other side of this cave. And this cave, like the previous water we just came through, has a bunch of gold in it, which will become not important, but useful later in this run. So one of this game's little quirks is that going underwater damages you, and that the game does not damage Bang in discrete, like he's got his little Pez dispenser power meter down there. He doesn't get damaged in discrete units. He can get damaged in fractions of a unit. For example, you saw there, if you saw it, if you blinked you may have missed it, but I had 3 power, and then I went underwater for a split second, and it reduced me to 2 power. Every time Bang's head is submerged, he's taking damage, no matter how long he's submerged for, even if he's only under for a few frames. So just, like, swimming across that underground lake, you kind of have a choice. Do I let these monsters' bullets hit me, or do I jump the bullets and take the damage from underwater? Fortunately, those hearts respawn as much as I need them there. And now it is time to fight the game's first boss, Rowdy, who is holding the hermit hostage in this cave. And Rowdy is not very difficult. Most of the bosses in this game have very, very tricky attack patterns. Rowdy's not one of them. This is it. This is all you gotta do to beat Rowdy. Bang can have 2 shots on the screen at one time, which means that rapid firing in this game, in most circumstances, is not a great option. Compared to, say, a Mega Man game. Mega Man can have 3 shots on the screen. So if he's doing little short hops like this... Well, first of all, Bang has a hard time doing short hops because he always jumps 8 stories in the air. But you don't get a great spread if you're just rapid firing and jumping. So one of the little quirks of this game is that you want to measure your jumps. If you can. Also, rescuing the Hermit got me 2 little Pez ticks on my power bar down there. And... he taught us how to use magic powers. This is a game system that I don't really think is developed very well, because you see we have a counter called Force above our power. Right now it's at 90. Once we get 200 Force, we'll learn this power, 300, 400, and 500 we'll learn the last power. We'll probably never even see 3, 4, and 5 in the game. You've got to really go out of your way to earn that much Force. But we start out with the number 1, which just shrinks us, and the only use I know of in the game for this shrink power is to get out of Route 35 like this. That's it. That's all there is. Oh, sometimes I can beat that guy without taking a hit. But not this day. So we kind of don't have a mission at the moment. We've completed our first mission. We've rescued the Hermit. So the game is kind of split a little bit equally between just kind of exploration for its own sake, just to kind of see what's out there, and little missions that you can pick up that are required to complete the plot. You'll see, I'll show you here at the beginning of the game, you kind of have the option to go left or right. And obviously you have to go right first, because that's where the plot takes place initially. But if you go left first, you end up on this side of the map over here. I think right now I'm under Route 8. Yeah, you see where I'm blinking down there on this side of the map. But you can't actually get anywhere on this side of the map. If we take Route 8 north, and then go west through the woods, and then north from there, you'll see that that path is missing like 2 orange pixels from being complete. It's a little bit broken. What that means is that that particular path is one way. You can go north to south, but you can't go south to north. Even if you have a way to fly. I thought that guy was just going to take his pound of flesh from me, but it looks like I will get out of this cave alive. There are only 3 ways to refill your life meter. I mean, enemies drop hearts kind of semi-randomly and kind of sparingly. And also, whenever you defeat a boss and pick up a medallion, the medallion fills up all your life. The other way to do it, though, is to eat Ultra Food. And I'll just demonstrate now, because now it's like a good time to do it. After I take those marshmallow afro guys down. So we can eat an Ultra Food, which comes in little cans, labeled F. I don't know what the F stands for. Hopefully food, and hopefully not whatever terrible thing it's made out of. But each one of these restores 1 pellet. You can hold 3, and then every time I use them, I want to make sure I go back to the super shops. Oh! We just saw the flying dog monster! Oh! But we missed him because we had to go to the super shop. Well, we're going to buy this too while we're here. I think we'll buy 2 of those. Those are the Aqua Lung. Those will let us go underwater without taking damage. That's about all we can buy for now. But we just restocked our shop calls and our Ultra Food, and life is good now. Oh, I hope the Wonder Dog's still there. No, he's not going to be, though. He is! There he is! There's Enrique the Wonder Dog! I don't think he's actually a dog. I think he's some kind of weird Japanese squirrel or something. But he shows up randomly in levels and drops power-ups for you, because of course he does. What a bro. During my test play of this game, I actually got a case where I got 2 Enrique the Wonder Dogs on screen at the same time, because my life is truly blessed. His name's not actually Enrique the Wonder Dog. In fact, the manual just lists him as secret character. And I don't know what that means. But yeah, he just drops health or gold or sometimes force apples. Right now we're making our way to the second boss of the game. And like I said, you have to defeat... They're actually called governors. The bosses in this game are called governors. And you have to defeat a certain number of them and get their medallions in order to progress. And most of the governors are just located on paths. on the routes. They're not actually part of the main plot. Well, I already helped you. I'm a member of a secret group. Oh, and he tells you to go see the hermit, which I've already done. So you've been totally useless. I wish you would let me shoot you. So like I said, the game is kind of split between being set on little missions that you undergo and just kind of exploring for exploring's sake. Just kind of seeing what's out there. Seeing what you can find, you know? And the governors, these bosses, most likely you will just have to stumble across them. How many times am I getting hit by this orange thing? 0! I am super pro. Shoutouts to TC Paget for sponsoring this video, and to everyone who makes this channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.